Hello VC and welcome to another vinyl update this time, but a segment I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, where I'm gonna go through my entire collection in alphabetical order. So it's gonna be separated into a lot of videos. I'm gonna do the metal part, all my metal stuff I'm gonna do in one series, and the other stuff, prog, rock, classical rock, stuff like that, hip hop, I'm going to do in another series. So all the metal related stuff is going to be this series, and the other one is going to be made in another, at another point in time. So first off, I might fuse some videos together with letters I don't have a lot of. But first we're going to go through the A's, which I have quite a lot of. B's goes from, A go from here to here. And I also have a few 10 inches and a few 7 inches. So I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee, and we are gonna go through this. First off, what we got playing in the background, also from the A section, this is ARG. Can't really remember what this stands for, so I might have to look that up. I don't really have time for that. But this is a killer death thrash album. I believe these guys are from Finland. This is ARG with one word without the end. Killer album. Now I'm gonna go through some 10 inches and some 7 inches. First up, we got Anatomia with Shreds of Purification. Killer death doom from Japan, one of my favorite bands of all time. Next up, we got Acid Rain with Humanoia. And this is mainly something I bought to complete my Acid Rain collection, since I don't really want to buy too many 10 inches, since it's not really my favorite kind of vinyl, if you know what I mean. Next up we got some 7 inches. This is some punk. There's also going to be punk in this section. This is Anti-System with Defense of the Realm EP. Not the biggest punk fan, but when I do listen to stuff like this, it's stuff like Discharge, Anti-System, and also this band, which is called Ausrotten, and this is Fuck Nazi Sympathy. So punk like that, Discharge, also the Ramones is one of my favorite bands. So also occasionally I listen to G.G. Allin, but not really that much. Next up we got some more from Anatomia. This is a split between them and Sex Messiah, and a split between Anatomia and Necrovosis, I believe that's the way you pronounce the band name. And next up we got Anatomia with Burial, and a split between Burial Invocation, which is entitled Decomposing Serenades. And lastly, probably my favorite, since I got it signed by the band, and this is a split between Anatomia and Living Decay. You can see I got it signed by the band, and when they sent it to me, so that's pretty cool. The first batch of records, I'm just gonna go through them, pretty quickly, so I'm not gonna drag this video out too long. First off, we got Acid Witch with Satanic Hallucinations, Acid Witch with Smoked, Acid Witch with Midnight Movies, this is their latest EP, Agent Steel with Skeptic Apocalypse, this is a black on black reissue. I'm of course looking for an original when I come across one that isn't way up in the price range. And this is Agent Steel with Unstoppable Force, which is my favorite album from these guys. Next up we got Armored Saint with Delirious Nomad. Don't really listen to a lot of Armored Saint. It's not really my kind of thing. Next up we got Abysmal Grief with Ferretti, I believe that's the way you pronounce it. Death Doom from Italy, if I'm not totally mistaken. This is released by Horror Records, which is a Danish record label, which I tend to buy quite a lot of. Next is Arch with Another Return. This is Norwegian speed power metal. It's pretty good. Anvil with Hard and Heavy. This is their first album and a really good album, and also one of my favorite album covers. Next up we got Artillery with their first comeback album, which is entitled Back. This is one I got at a show where I saw them play live with Battery and Impalers a few years ago. Got this in exchange for some patches I wanted to buy but they didn't have, so I got this instead, so that was a pretty good exchange. Next up we got By Inheritance. A lot of people say this is their best album. That's not, in my opinion, the case. I like the first album, Fear of Tomorrow, and Terror Squad just a tiny bit more. But this is their most progressive. I don't know if that counts, but yeah, great album nonetheless. This is Artificial Brain with Labyrinth Constellation. It's some okay death metal. I listened to this a few times, but it's not really my album. Next up we got Abattoir with The Only Safe Place. Acid Rain with Hanging Up the Telephone. This is an EP. Acid Rain with Moschenstein. Acid Rain with Fear. And the worst of Acid Rain, Obnoxious. And this is a compilation which is entitled At Death's Door, a collection of brutal death metal. Yeah, although this is a mixture between thrash and death metal, but it's killer still. It's still a killer compilation. Next up we got Accept with Restless and Wild, my favorite album from these guys. And the other batch, we got the highly acclaimed Balls to the Wall by Accept, their self-titled album. This is some Swedish thrash metal, Agony with The First Defiance. And this is actually quite funny. This is from DR, which is the Danish national-wide TV station and also radio. And this is used to be played on the radio. This is a radio copy, so that's pretty funny. Agrafet with Corrupt Minds, one of the first thrash albums I ever bought. Didn't really like it at first, but it has really grown on me. And the best album in my opinion, this is Agrafet with Faded Glory, also one of my favorite album covers of all time. Next up we got Asphyxia with Exit Reality. Assassin, The Upcoming Terror. Accuser with Double Talk. Accuser with Experimental Errors. Accuser with The Conviction. Accuser, Who Dominates Who. Atomkraft, or Atomkraft, or whatever you want to call it. Queens of Death, or Queen of Death. Atheist with Piece of Time. Anvil Bitch with Rise to Offend. The self-titled album by Apocalypse. Fistful of Metal by Anthrax, which is my favorite Anthrax album. Spreading the Disease by Anthrax. Attacker, Battle at Helm's Deep. Annihilator, Never Neverland. Annihilator with Alice in Hell. And this is The Ultimate Desecration by Annihilated. And Anatomia with Decaying in Obscurity. That's the first, also the first case in my expedite, so it takes up quite a lot of room in the A section. Next up we got the newest album from Autopsy. This is Tourniquet, Hacksaws and Graves. They have this Ritual by Autopsy. And this is Autopsy with Macabre Eternal. Chiffon, I believe, Chiffon. This is Acts of the Unspeakable by Autopsy. Mental Funeral by Autopsy. Autopsy. And the best death metal album ever made in my opinion. This is Autopsy with Severed Survival. Alcest with a album name I can't pronounce, so Alcest. Alcest with Shelter. A lot of people didn't really like this, but I actually kinda, I hate to say it, but it's actually kind of my favorite album from Alcest. This is their first album, also an album I can't pronounce, but Alcest. This is a reissue of Atomica Disturbing the Force, one of my favorite German power / speed metal albums of all time. This is Attack with Destinies of War, also loving the artwork. This is At War with, what the fuck? Retaliatory Strike. Yeah. At War with Order to Kill. This is a reissue of Atrophy's demo, I believe, Chemical Dependency. Atrophy with Violent by Nature. And lastly, I believe, we have Atrophy with Socialized Hate. So that's the A section. I will continue to do the B, the C, the D, the whatever in future videos. So I hope you enjoyed this first edition of my collection videos. So until I make another one, have a good day.